Assalamualaikum. My name is Hanis. So today I will introduce about Dr. Aliah, who is our client, asking us as the tax authority regarding about his tax problem. So Dr. Aliah starts his work at HUKM since November 2015 with a starting salary of 3,000 ringgit. Then, during 2019, he furthered his studies in Master in Genealogical Surgery and continued to work with a salary of 4,500 ringgit. During his time of period work, he never filed up any return form and paid income tax since 2015. Due to this problem, he received a penalty notice from IRB. Regarding this problem, he asked for advice about the penalty received and how it could be solved.
I'm Izzah and will tell you about the responsibility of employee. Every employee needs to submit his tax return form BE every year before 30th April. And it will submit by e-filing or manual submission. Then, assessment. Assessment is a notice in written by the RIB to tell the employee about the amount of the tax payable. So, if there is no tax submission in current YA, so the DG may use his best judgment to determine the income tax payable for that person. In Dr. Aliah's case, he need to fill out the form BE and make sure submit before 30th April. Since he never filled any written form and paid the income tax before, the DG may determine his income tax payable with his best judgment, and he be liable to the penalty of non-submission return.
Hi, I'm Aina, so I will explain to you about self-assessment for individual. I will start it in general. So, as legislated in 82A, some individual need to keep a retain in safe custody statement for 7 years. This is because the purpose of keep the document safe is to ascertain his chargeable income and tax payable. For example, the document is statement of income and expenditure, invoice, vouchers, receipt and others. So I will relate with the scenario of Dr. Aliah. Dr. Aliah need to keep and retain the document safe for 7 years. This is sure. So I will relate the self-assessment for individual with the Dr. Aliah cases. Dr. Aliah need to keep and retain in safe custody document for 7 years. This, for example, document he need to keep safe as we stated before. So after he submitted the form, his tax will be deducted monthly by his employer under scheduled tax deduction system (STD). So it will So the next person will explain more about the next step of tax.
Now, I will be talking about the penalty. The DG is empowered to enforce such offences and levy penalties whenever it is necessary. The case falls under Section 112 subsection 1A, which is a serious offence for non-submission of tax return for 2 continuous YA or more. It empowers the IRB to exercise its best judgment, issue notice of additional assessment to enforce tax collection. Since the notice is given on prosecution, The fine will be imposed in between 1,000 ringgit to 20,000 ringgit or 6 months imprisonment or both, plus penalty of 3 times tax payable. In this case, Dr. Errol is deemed whether to pay the fine between 1,000 ringgit to 20,000 ringgit or 6 months of imprisonment or both, depends on the IRB best judgment. He will also need to pay the penalty that is 3 times the tax payable.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. My name is Zulaikha. So I will explain. I will further this explanation, this presentation with the appeal. A taxpayer, if he is dissatisfied with the assessment or the deemed notice of assessment sent out by the IRB, he may make an appeal to the tax authorities or call as IRB to object the notice of assessment within 13 days from the day he received the notice of assessment. And in that appeal, he must write to the tax authorities in a specific form called as Form JA, and also he must include a written letter stating the reasons for his objection. And if he has made the appeal to the tax authorities, but there is no agreement that can be reached between the Director General or DG and the taxpayer, he can make further appeal to the SB Com. So in the case of Dr. Errol, he should, since he is imposed with the penalty, he should write to the tax authorities to object the notice of assessment within 30 days from the day he received the notice. And he must state the reasons why he is objecting the notice of assessment. And as provided by the Act, Sections 91, Subsection 1, the appeal must be made in Form JA and it must be filed, and also a written letter is to be taken as necessary too. And he may appeal when submitted his written form.
So, the conclusion is Dr. Errol is a chargeable person and he must pay the income tax. Every year, he must declare his income via e-filing before 30 April. If not, he will receive the penalty notice from IRB again.
So as a taxpayer, every person who are receiving income must pay tax. So if he does not pay or he does not submit his written form, he has committed a serious offence as in the Act of ITA. So if for the first time he may make an appeal to the IRB, but for the next time he may not do so. He should not repeat the same mistake over and over again.